You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast for our IPL weekend wrap-up. We've got action from Mumbai v Delhi, Rajasthan Royals v RCB, Punjab Kings v Sunrisers Hyderabad, and Gujarat Titans v the Lucknow Supergiants. Some surprising results in there, and a big comeback for Travishek. So lots to discuss. I'm Jack Hope. I'm joined by Max Rowe Brown. How you doing, Max?
Hello. Yeah, I'm quite tired because I went to a wedding yesterday and I was worrying how I was going to get through this. But then I watched the end. I watched the whole of the Delhi Mumbai game, but the end in particular has given me enough pep, I think, to get through that. Enough adrenaline coursing through my veins for this podcast.
Yeah, good pep. And we've got Ross Legg. How you doing, Ross?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm good. I'm freshly shaven for the first time in God knows how many months, so it's it feels very, very strange. And I had I had a moustache yesterday for cricket because that's what you do for cricket, in honour of Travishek. And yeah, feeling good, mate. Feeling good.
Are you going to regrow your moustache for next week?
No, I'm not. No,
Okay. Well,
no.
that's a shame. One-off moustache. Before we get going, a reminder: you can support the Cricket Podcast directly by signing up to Patreon, and this is in the show notes, so you don't even have to Google it or anything like that. You can just click a button, click a link. Patreon.com/the Cricket Pod for extra stuff like a Discord channel and bits. Boys, let's get into the cricket. We'll start with a game that just finished, Mumbai v Delhi. Let's roll. Max.
Yeah, well, Mumbai Delhi. For a while, it looked like it was going to be the unlikely story of the Impact sub, the head-to-head of Karen Nair playing his 9th IPL game in the last 6 years, I think it was, and Khan Sharma just randomly Mumbai deciding that they were going to play him today for a laugh, and well, they went head-to-head after Mumbai put up 205 in the first innings. Will Jacks being moved down the order to accommodate Sky and Tilak Varma seems to do the job for Mumbai as they put on a decent score. And then despite Jake Fraser-McGurk departing first ball, Karen Nair came in and blasted a fairly unusual by Karen Nair standards 89 or 40 balls. It was somewhat impressive. And Delhi were coasting, really. They looked like they were comfortable, but then a change of ball and a change of fortunes. Khan Sharma came back with 3 wickets after shipping quite a few runs in his first couple of overs, and then Ashutosh looked like he was dragging Delhi back into the game before a hat-trick of run-outs to round things off. 3 balls in a row with 3 bits of fairly impressive fielding from Mumbai. And we were talking about how Mumbai, they were 1 and 4, but it's been closer than that. They've been fine margins in some of those defeats, and finally the fine margins fell their way today as they squeaked away with a win to end the Delhi unbeaten run and get things going.
Yeah, Ross, have you ever seen an end of a game quite like that?
It was pretty spectacular, wasn't it? They were 3 really good run-outs as well. It wasn't like it was just awful cricket. It was just 3 really good bits of cricket. I don't think I have seen something like that before. And Mitch
last week, you reckoned it was maybe just the first time CSK had lost 5 in a row. Do you reckon this is the first time that an IPL game's ever had 3 consecutive run-outs to end it?
No, I reckon that's happened before. I've consulted my crystal ball. I reckon
Rostradamus.
Yeah, Rostradamus is here. I was bloody impressed by Will Jacks throw for the first one. Like it was inch perfect, like just above the stump, straight into Ryan Rickleton's gloves, and yeah, huge wicket. But Mitch Santner, he was flying. It was like Max was saying just before we went live. It was like Temba Bavumas, wasn't it? He was literally flying in the air, 1 stump to aim at. Brilliant cricket.
I actually thought the ball had gone past him when it happened as well. I thought he'd misfielded it, and then I don't know, some quantum tunneling happened, and it ended up not taking out the stumps. Which, yeah, bizarre.
He had a good day, old Santner. Had a good day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Max, Mumbai, talk to me. Are they good now?
Yeah, well, I don't think they're a huge huge difference from what we've seen from them so far. I think we spoke about them being maybe a touch unlucky in some of the games to date, with a record that probably isn't fair on the cricket they've played compared to some of the other teams in the competition with comparable win-loss records. But I think obviously the big change for them today was shifting Will Jacks down. He came in at 7 and faced 1 ball, so that Suryakumar Yadav and Tilak Varma could get a bit more time at the crease, and that paid off for the most part, with some good a good effort from Namandir at the end to propel Mumbai. So I think it was fairly similar, right, from the way Mumbai have played. They made a small tweak, which I think had been spoken about quite a lot in IPL media, about whether you're wasting Tilak Varma at 5, which is probably a fair point because he has been as good as anyone for India in T20s in recent times. And no, they looked good. I think as good as they've been so far in this competition. And I think we kind of backed them to mount a bit of a comeback, didn't we? So it was heartening to see the true Mumbai come to the fore today, I think.
Delhi, on the other hand, Ross, first defeat of the season. How exactly did they blow it? Did they blow it? Were Mumbai just too good for them? Like, what went wrong from a Delhi point of view?
I think it was a little bit of ill discipline, Jack, is what I put it down to. So Tristan Stubbs came in, and he was at the crease with KL Rahul, and this when Akshar Patel had just got out, and that was the moment where they had enough time to actually just consolidate. They didn't need to go for the big shots, and Tristan Stubbs spooned one straight up into the air. It was clearly the plan, right, from Hardik Pandya bringing Khan Sharma back on to tease them to lull them into a full sense of Khan Sharma security, and they fell right into that trap. Khan Sharma literally was praying on the field. He could not believe how good his day was going. He was just like, there's somebody looking out for me here. And it was a brilliant bit of captaincy from Hardik Pandya. It was an okay bit of bowling from Khan Sharma, and it was mindless cricket from Tristan Stubbs, and then KL Rahul, who pretty much looked like directly down the drone camera when he got out. You saw his eyes, it's like, oh no, what have I done? And at that point, it just I know you don't particularly believe in it, Jack, but all the momentum swung into the favour of Mumbai Indians, and Delhi have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory today.
Are you likening it to like the old Sunday 11 captain bringing on the 80-year-old who's taken 9,000 career wickets by looping it up? Ross's nemesis.
He did also bowl some absolute dross like down leg side that should have been punished. Like they should have hit some more runs off Khan Sharma, but it was it was a little bit of ill discipline, I thought, in the middle, and something that we hadn't really seen from Delhi so far. They'd been a pretty good machine, actually. They'd figured out actually how to do what they needed to do, but on this occasion, they lost their heads a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did. Bumrah's back, Max, but he was a little bit all over the place today. Is there potentially some lingering injury rustiness for Jasprit?
Probably. I mean, it's tough, isn't it, coming back into playing after a little while out, while everyone else is just getting into the swing of things as well, right? Nice and fit, firing fit, and you're playing. I mean, the boundaries at Delhi are fairly small. It's a high scoring ground. I think it's the highest scoring ground in the IPL at the moment, and even more recently, just the nature of pitches that we've seen in the IPL and the impact sub and all the rest of it, like it stacks the odds against you. So if you're coming back from injury, even if your name is Jasprit Bumrah and you're not quite hitting the heights of the Yorkers and things that you're used to, then you're in danger, aren't you? And that happened. But I mean, there were also signs that he's still going to be he's obviously a force, isn't he? But it wasn't just like what's happened. Jasprit Bumrah's broken. It was just a little bit. He was a little bit off at times, wasn't he? Like that reverse lap shot that Ashutosh Sharma played to that. It was a fairly horrible full toss, but it was still an unbelievable shot right? Like that could have been an awkward one to get away if you were playing it normally, and it just so happened that piece of invention worked out. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about Jasper. He'll come back just like Jofra, right? 0 for 76 to open the account, and now he's bowling again. So
maybe the Australians have just figured out how to play Bumrah, right? They brought in, was it Sam Constas, and he literally was just like, I'm just going to reverse scoop this bloke.
Yeah,
and then people just looked at that and be like, it's the logical way to play this 90 mile an hour bowler.
Like, I don't know how flippant you're being, but like it's not necessarily a million miles from the truth, is it? You think about it, sort of reminds me like the way AB de Villiers started to change things when bowling Yorkers was the meta of death bowling, and he started doing weird things with flipping it around the corner. And Jasper Bumrah is pretty much like bowls Yorkers, but just bowls really, really, really good ones. But maybe there is something to that.
Yeah. So that was Mumbai v Delhi. Any final words, Ross, on the game?
I don't think that Delhi should be too disheartened through this. They've come up against, I think Mumbai were pretty good today. Delhi, actually, if they just stuck to their game plan, they would have won this game of cricket. And so actually, it's not throwing baby out with the bathwater on this. And it was a pretty impressive performance from Karen Nair, who's going to be probably quietly pleased with himself, even though he's lost. If I was Karen Nair, I'd be sitting there going, I told you I could still play cricket. And here he is. And who knows, will he be on the plane to England with a test match series in the next couple of months?
Do you think it was a mistake for Ashutosh to push the two situation and Kuldeep as well? Or was it just good fielding and that's how it goes sometimes?
I did think that he didn't have a genuine bunny at the other end. He had Mitch Stark, and Stark's not a complete mug with a bat. Like he's not a number 7, but he's quite capable of hitting a big old boomer. And I thought they had a couple of balls to actually do it. So I thought it was a poor bit of judgment from him, but I mean it was by the barest of margins that he was run out, indeed. Right? So it was almost
not quite the barest of margins. It was even barer for the next delivery, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I think I'm not going to blame Ashutosh. I think for this, I think it was just he tried to think he was doing the right thing, and it was a good bit of fielding that got him out.
I think you absolutely have to try and take that run. It's like you're saying, Ross, it has to be absolutely perfect from the fielder there, the throw, the pick up, everything has to go right. The bounce off the pitch, like if it bounces up and it's taken near his head and he has to bring the ball down to the stumps, it's not out.
He also had to run around Bumrah a bit as well, which obviously lengthened the return trip, which he probably wasn't accounting for.
So I think that was a pretty obvious one. I thought the other two run outs were probably more questionable. Like I'm not sure Kuldeep Yadav has any business trying to get back on strike. And then the last one, why are they taking a single there? They need 12. They're going to need 13, 12 off the last over, whatever it was. Who's more likely to do that, Mohit Sharma or Mitchell Stark? Yeah. They're probably going to lose either way, but at least give yourself the chance. And I didn't fully understand that, but those guys are batting down there for a reason, and that reason is that they are bad at batting, and that extends to running. There aren't very many number 11s in the world. Yeah, there aren't many number 11s in the world who you're like, oh, what a great runner between the wickets. No, they do crazy stuff because they're not used to being in that scenario. Like they're just full on panicking, basically. I don't know. Maybe Mohit Sharma thought he could tuck into bolt. Like maybe there was. Maybe that's what they were thinking. But apart from that one, I thought it was just some good fielding. Look, we'll take a break. Then we'll come back. We'll talk about the game from the morning, which was RCB. Getting in on the action, weren't they? I think. Yeah. Back in a moment.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Cricket Podcast. RCB action into it. The Rajasthan Royals. Weird game, this, I thought.
Yeah,
Like, 173 for 4 is not a good score.
No.
That's something you've done some weird stuff, if that's what you end up on.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Max. Summarise.
Yeah, well, it's the Regal Derby, isn't it? The Rajasthan Royals and the Royal Challengers, Bengaluru. But yeah, no, you're right. You hit the nail on the head there, really, Jack. It was a really weird one. Jaiswal scored what some people have been describing as a clinic of a 75. But from my point of view, I thought it was a slightly weird one where it looked like he struggled a bit. And he pulled out a few inventive shots. And, there was some one in particular off Hazelwood just before he got out that was super impressive. But 75 or 47 is pretty good, but it's not, it's not Jaiswal good, is it? And everyone else.
It's not clinic.
No, it's not clinic. Everyone else struggled. Sanju Samson, 15 off 19. Parag and Jarrell. Jarrell caught up at the end, but he was going nowhere for a little while. And it was weird. Yeah, they made it look like it was quite a difficult pitch to bat on. Got a bit stuck. And I don't know how much of that is in their head around the lack of batting that they have to follow the top six, but that's what happened. They went along. It was a bit slow, and 173 for 4. They left some assets out there for sure. And in response, Phil Salt made it look like he was batting in a completely different state because he came in, blasted it around for 33 balls, and pretty much ended the game as a contest while Virat Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal took them over the line with consummate ease. And yeah, impressive from RCB. They were good. Rajasthan were not. So
they
good.
put on a clinic. They RCB put on a clinic of how to.
That was how you chase down a fairly average score.
Yeah, Rajasthan Royals were the dengue fever clinic. That's what they were fucking doing. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like,
yes.
What are you more disappointed about today, Ross? The performance of Rajasthan Royals or the performance of Tottenham Hotspur?
what I've just come to accept, Max, is that Rajasthan Royals are the Tottenham Hotspur of the IPL. That's what I've just come to, and everything is just disappointing. But yesterday we played cricket and we won the first game of the season. So do you know what? Overall, personal.
If you could have chosen one victory this weekend, that would have been it, right?
Yeah, I've got no like agency in Rajasthan Royals or Tottenham winning, right? But I do have it in a team where we had to play against like 8 players cobbled together for the opposition. So on a pitch where you had to measure out the creases and spray the lines on yourselves, if I'm not mistaken. We did have to do that, yes.
The paint actually didn't turn up for about 4 overs of the game. So at the beginning of the game, there were no creases.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was just like guesswork, basically.
Any run-outs in that 4 period?
No,
but our wicketkeeper, I shit you not, there is no line, and he literally
filled for stumping.
Well, yeah, no, literally, he kept on taking the ball after the bowler, and the guy was just like kind of standing there, and he launched the ball at the stumps like at least 2 or 3 times. Jack had to literally say to Rahul, he was just like, "We're not going to appeal if you do that." You have to.
Hey, if you're that experienced, you know in your mind's eye where the crease is. You got a natural instinct for it.
So I enjoyed the shit housing. That's what. But this was an unbelievably weird game, purely in the fact that they were batting on the same pitch as RCB, and yet seemed to make it much more difficult for themselves. I wasn't really understanding what they were trying to do. Sanju Samson had a bit of a nightmare. Parag had a bit of a nightmare as well. Jarrell took ages to get going, and Shimron Hetmeyer, unfortunately, leaving a lot to be desired in this. And overall, it was really poor management from Rajasthan. And if I was a RCB fan, I'd be sitting there going, "This was a perfect performance from them." They literally restricted a team really, really nicely, and when they came out to bat, they decimated them. And Phil Salt looks like he's regained a bit of form now and really, really making a huge impact. And then when you've got someone like Virat Kohli who can bat alongside anybody, Devdutt Padikkal does the business, right? So it was an absolute clinic from RCB against my beautiful pink boys.
Yeah, Rajasthan, they tried all the bowlers as well, even Rian Parag, and none of the bowlers worked.
And that in itself is a shambles, isn't it? That just proves that you've not got a plan.
Your batting lineup ends at 6, and you're still bowling Rian Parag
Yeah, it's
in a tournament where you can bring in an extra bowler.
Strange one. RCB continue to be pretty good, don't they? Well, it's not.
They're
it
definitely the
looks
hot
like
category, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say so. Potentially still some question marks when they play at home, but decent on the road.
Yeah,
Definitely decent.
I did like the stadium they were playing in today. So in Jaipur, it's quite an interesting cobbled together stadium. Doesn't really make much sense to me how they've actually built it, but really quite interesting. Yeah, Jack, from an RCB perspective, playoffs looking highly likely, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean they look like one of the better teams in the tournament. I think the problem for them will be the home games. I can't, but even having said that, I can't see them losing all 7 home matches. They've got 5 to go. They probably only need to win twice at home in those 5 matches, and they'll be good enough when they're not there. It is a strange one. It actually looks like a better better place to bowl than it has previously, but they've. There's something that doesn't quite work for RCB at the Chinnaswamy. So that's the only red flag. I mean, like it's a really good start to the season for them. They are playing good cricket, even when they've lost. They've kind of lost well. There's been no capitulations. Healthy net run rate. I can't see what could go majorly wrong for them other than an injury. At this point, like if they lost Hazelwood, I think that team does start to look a little bit shaky, and he has got an injury track record, right? But it's all good at the moment. It's all good at the moment.
Yeah, I'm also not entirely convinced of Yash Dayal's credentials, if I'm perfectly honest, of leading a team to an IPL championship. But
yeah.
But
he's not the front runner, is he? He's the third seamer, and as a third seamer, I think he's more than serviceable. I think he's one of those guys that you always remember some of the really bad shit that happened, and there was some really bad shit that happened. And then you forget about all the other times where he bowls 4 overs, goes for 9 and over, and takes a wicket or 2, and you're like, that's good, take that. Yeah,
that's fine for the third seamer. Obviously, they're one of the weaker teams when it comes to spin, but I think that is slightly offset by the fact that they are dangerous in the power play, and Krunal isn't going to take loads of wickets, but he does very rarely get tanked, and that it's an acceptable thing to have a spinner that is quite economical but doesn't take many wickets. If you have that paired with bowlers that
that
do take wickets, and
becomes a weapon in itself,
and Hazelwood, yeah, exactly. So I think they're looking pretty decent. I think Rajasthan season's over, I'm afraid, Ross.
Mate, it was over at the auction. Let's be fair.
It's all right, they've still got the Europa League to concentrate on.
Yeah, you had me at retentions at Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah,
they briefly flickered into life, didn't they? Just they need so much to go right in games.
That's it, isn't it? Everything has to come together for them to win, and that's quite a hard thing to happen regularly.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next game? Cool. That was Punjab Kings v Sunrisers Hyderabad. They're back, Max, aren't they? The boys.
Oh boy, are they back! Yeah,
the sun is rising.
What a performance this was from everyone. Really, there's quite a lot to pick through in this. But we'll start with what happened first, which was Punjab Kings batting, and they put on a fairly imposing, even on a road like you see at Hyderabad from time to time, 245 for 6. Things got off to a pretty good start with Priyank Jaya bashing 36 or 13 and Prabhsimran Singh with a 42. But Shreyas Iyer was the main man once again, a pretty impressive I think you can call it swashbuckling, 82 off 36. But things started to grind to a halt slightly. Harshal Patel coming in, taking a couple of very important wickets to stop things in their tracks. Glenn Maxwell continued his fairly inauspicious season. And yeah, even with Marcus Stoinis hitting the last 4 balls of the innings for 6 to, pummel Mohammed Shami and make Jofra Archer feel a little better about himself, but not quite fully better about himself. Still left a bit out there, I think, given those sort of last couple of overs before the Stoinis antics. But 245, you're not sniffing at that, are you? You back yourself to defend it. Unfortunately, what you can't do is get Abhishek Sharma out on a no ball and drop him twice, because if you give him 3 wickets, he'll score 141 or 55. And I don't want to take anything away from him by saying that he sort of got out 3 times, because it was an incredible display of hitting off all of the bowlers. They used a lot of them, partly enforced, 8 in total. But Abhishek had the number of every single one. Travis Head, 66. Nobody cares, mate. Good job. Not interested. Yeah, mental from Abhishek Sharma. That's going to go down in history for a long time as one of the great innings. And they chase it with 9 balls to spare, which is quite astounding, really.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was unstoppable. Abhishek, wasn't he, Ross? Do you think had Lockie Ferguson not gone off the pitch after 2 balls, do you think that Punjab might have won?
Yeah, they might have done. I think it gives them a little bit more of a chance. Lockie's a pretty good bowler. But if I'm perfectly honest, when you come up against the Sunrisers team in this mood, like it's really, really impossible to stop. And that's why we kind of thought they were favourites for this tournament, because their batting can be so destructive. And here they kind of just proved it, right? And you look at the depth in that top order, like Travis Head, Abhishek, then you've got Klaassen, who got promoted up the order. They've still got Ishan Kishan, who came in. They've got Reddy to come in. Verma's had a very good season as well. So they've got so much firepower. Like, it's not surprising that they've been able to chase this score down. And yeah, we're looking really make as much of a difference. I'm not so sure. Marco Janssen only bowls kind of 2 overs in this space. Stoinis only bowled kind of 4 balls as well. So they had plenty of options, this Punjab Kings team, but they unfortunately have reignited the Sunrisers Hyderabad season.
Max, are they going to go on a tear and win the IPL now?
That would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, it could be, couldn't it? This could be the sliding doors moment for the Sunrisers side. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel something brewing. It would be quite the story. I mean, we backed them to come back, didn't we? Because it's just like, I know the law of averages isn't really a thing in real life, but after 4 games of the top order that they've got falling in a heap, it felt like something was inevitable, wasn't it? And I think Abhishek was just saving it all up for this one game. And yeah, if this allows them to kick on, maybe they continue to use the same strip every game they play at home now, because it's a deck. Then they can build on some of that momentum, that all important momentum that you get in T20 cricket. But I would like to see them compete, because it would be better for the tournament if Sunrisers are performing well. We can't have Lucknow sneaking into the playoffs. It's not on. It just isn't on.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Lucknow shortly. From a Punjab point of view, Ross, are they quietly really, really terrible at bowling, or is this my imagination? Like, I mean, could they be maybe the worst bowling team in the league?
What, Punjab?
They seem to ship. Yeah, they seem to ship runs like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they got battered by Gujarat in their first game. I know they won it, but they still conceded 232 runs. They turned over Lucknow 171 off 20 overs. You would have taken that as a bowling team. Then they let Rajasthan score 205. CSK even scored 200 runs against them. and they've let ships 247 in 18 overs today. Am I wrong about that, or
I think this
is there a mitigating factor you can think of?
So I think it comes down to a little bit of form at the moment. So I think that one, they're not clearly executing some of the plans, and that's kind of looked. If you look at the distribution of the overs from some of their players, it's been a little bit all over the shop, and perhaps sometimes teams go a bit too match-up focused rather than just be like, we're going to play and bowl our best bowlers. And I think Punjab Kings have fallen potentially into that category. And then you also look at the form of Yuzi Chahal. So he is, has been in the past one of the best leg spinners in the competition. We said on the last show that leg spinners had slightly been struggling a little bit, left arm, not counting those. And Yuzi Chahal, who should be one of the first names on the team sheet, is letting the team down here. And he goes for 53 runs, I think it is today, 55 runs, something like that. 56, wow. And he's having a bit of a torrid time. I think he's only picked up 1 or 2 wickets in the entire tournament. That is a problem for them. You need to have a reliable spin bowler within your setup to make any progress, really. Because I think they've got the pace bowling contingent that they probably need to go far in a tournament. Like Arshdeep Singh is a really, really good player. Marco Jansen's done well. They've got the matchups where they require it of kind of Maxwell, but it just feels to me they're not quite executing on their plans, and they need some of their senior players to step up and do it. I would like to see Azmat Omarzai in this lineup, but they seem to be a little bit reluctant to have him in there. But I do think they are missing someone of his quality with the ball, and they also obviously give him the bat, but they prefer Stoinis in the lineup. So
to your point, Jack, Punjab are going at 10.7 and over at the moment.
Yeah,
across the entire.
It's not very good.
It's pretty bad.
They don't really have loads of wicket threat, I don't think, as well.
They refused to play Harpreet Brar as well. I quite like Harpreet. So
yeah, I do think Punjab. There's somebody this season is going to have this happen to them against Sunrisers. Probably a few teams like this. What Sunrisers do. Yeah. So I don't think it's like terminal, but I do think it is a problem for Punjab that their bowling doesn't take wickets and doesn't stop runs. Like you've got to be doing
quite important things.
One of those two things. Yeah. yeah. You can kind of lean towards defensive bowling, or you can be like the Sunrisers version of a bowling team and try and bowl sides out. But you can't be neither. And I think they're a little bit neither.
In this game though, I mean they lost and they got pummeled in the end, but it's not like it was fully, completely against them, and they didn't have any agency in their own downfall. Like the drops are notable. The the no ball, the towards the end, they didn't really kick on when they perhaps could have done in those sort of like 18th and 19th over. So there are areas of this game where Punjab can look at it and be like, we still should have won, even though Abhishek, did what he did. Like, there's stuff that they, I don't know, you could say got right that they didn't capitalize on, or however you want to phrase it. But it's not. I wouldn't be. Obviously, you'll be down about it because you failed to defend 245. But it happens sometimes, right? Things don't quite go your way, and on another day they could end up winning it reasonably comfortably.
Look, Shreyas Iyer is definitely not on flop watch. That's another thing.
He's having a great season. Great season.
A plus point. Boys, we're going to take a quick break. Then we will come back. We've got one more game to discuss and a little look forward to the matches coming up this week.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Cricket Podcast. One more game to go in our roundup of the weekend's action before we do take a look forward. The game was Max Gujarat Titans v Lucknow Super Giants. The Gujarat Titans, they've been playing great cricket. We thought there's no way they can lose to this shaky-looking
Ragtag
Lucknow Super
band.
Giants team.
Yeah.
Even if Lucknow do somehow have a winning record, but they did lose. Why? What
They
happened?
did. Well, it's quite an interesting one, this, because we've been, I don't know, we've been like possibly not super hot on the Gujarat middle order, but it's not really been a problem for them so far because their top three are so good, and their top three were good again. They got off to a 120 run opening partnership start off 12 overs. They were cruising. They were well set to go and bat Lucknow out of this game, and then
They sent in Washington Sundar.
then it all went wrong. Yeah, they lost a couple of wickets in quick succession. Both Shubman Gill and Sai Siddharthan falling, having scored 50s, and Washington Sundar in at 4. Wasn't around for long, and then Shane Rutherford couldn't get going. Raul Tawatier with the first ball duck, and it was just a bit odd, really, the way the innings unfolded. They looked in like I say, in cruise control, and then it all fell in a heap. I think you got to give a bit of credit to Lucknow's bowlers, the timing of bringing Digvesh back into the attack and Ravi Bishnoi to slow things down a bit was something to do with things drying up. But yeah, from where they were, Gujarat should well have kicked on and got themselves into a better position than they did. And 180 for 6 in the end was a bit of a disappointing score from where they were. And Nicholas Puran eats those kinds of scores for breakfast. Only 61 though for him today, but he did do it off today on Saturday. But he did do it off 34 balls, which after Aidan Markram's fast start got Lucknow most of the way there. Ayush Badoni finished it off, and it was quite a well-paced chase for Lucknow in the end. They only had 3 balls left, but the damage was done at the start, really, and they cruised home. Spare for Sai Kishore, who bowled 9 balls and went for 35.
Yeah, that's a bad day at the office, for sure. We also saw bad Siraj, didn't we, Ross?
We did, yeah.
He's been on cloud 9, proverbially speaking, and frankly, the wheels came off, didn't they, yesterday?
They did, and sometimes it's because you come up against players who just have got your number, and actually the likes of Sai Siddharthan, Shubman Gill, and Joss Buttler can have many people's numbers, right? And that's the opposite team that I'm talking about because I'm an idiot. Aidan Markram. I'm not going to say about Aidan Markram. I can't believe Aidan Markram's hitting runs, but Nicholas Puran is unbelievable. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I was getting changed. I was stop on and missed a little bit of that, so apologies. I wouldn't be too worried if I'm Gujarat Titans about this. This is a bit of a blip. I did think that they missed a trick. They didn't really need to send in Washington Sundar at that point in the game. I don't. Just at the 14th over, they were in a position to put their foot down. Khan just in the last game played really well. So
we've got stop motion Ross with us for
we've got stop motion Ross. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with the point that he was trying to make through his internet connection, which was at the point that Washington Sundar came in was exactly the point where you want to be kicking on and getting to that imposing score. And I don't know why you wouldn't send in Shafane Rutherford to do that instead. We're not massive buyers, are we, of Washington Sundar in T20 as a batter? Certainly wouldn't have him as number 4 for the most part. So yeah, I think Gujarat can look at themselves in the mirror and question some of their decision making in this particular scenario.
Why? The only thing I wanted to ask really about this game. Well, it's not the only thing. There's a bunch of stuff. Why did Lucknow take so long to win? They needed sort of 25 off the last 5 overs and won it with 3 balls left. Weird. That's all. I mean, there's not a question there. It's just an observation that's a kind of a weird way to go about a chase, especially when everyone knows about the importance of net run rate. I can't wait to tell you about it at all opportunities. Well, every opportunity.
It's like they've just discovered it.
Here's a question. Right, first, thank you very much for a very generous super chat from Sudhi Raj. Second, Max, do we finally have to acknowledge that Lucknow Super Giants are a great cricket team?
I refuse. I categorically refuse to do it, man. Like they've got a great player, possibly the greatest player around with the bat at the moment in Nicholas Pooran. It seems like there is nothing that he can't do. And when you've got that kind of guy on your side and he's motoring, then I guess you automatically become a half decent side because you've just got a head start over literally everyone else. Because that's how cricket works, right? If you are a team and you've got a guy who's better than everyone else in the league, you're going to beat some people because of that guy. And that feels a little bit like where the batting is at the moment. I mean, remember they did this without Mitch Marsh, who couldn't play for personal reasons, who's been doing similar stuff, opening the batting. So they had one of their legs sawn off, and they still did this. So yeah, I don't know. We probably should give their bowling attack more credit than we did at the start. Like it's now shaping up into something that kind of works. You know, Shardul Thakur has been unexpectedly effective at both ends of the innings. Digvesh is, like, I think we can say he's pretty good now. From after he had a few troubles early on, but has definitely settled into a really important role in this side in the middle overs. And Ravi Bishnoi is starting to find a bit more. He threatened to get a bit of tap at the start and came back into it nicely. So there's a bit of balance to the bowling attack, even though it's not the best. It's still not the best. Like the names in there are not the highest quality. There's no massive star power, but it's functional. I think it's functional enough when you've got Nicholas Pooran in the side batting, and it's still not in the top 4 of the sides in the IPL, right? Like it shouldn't be in the long term.
Yeah, it's blowing hot, right? But there will be some cold moments in this tournament, and actually the win for Mumbai today, actually, you start to get a bit of a crunch in the middle, and our luck now going to have that team across the season to get to the playoffs. So I'm still not entirely convinced.
There's still time for Mayank Yadav to come in and play 2 games.
What's also baffling around this is that Shardul Thakur wasn't even auctioned, right? He was picked up as an injury replacement and is now their best bowler. It just does. The Lord
is he second in the purple cap race at the moment? The Lord, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, I'm quite surprised he didn't get picked up because he's exactly the kind of player that would end up in a squad somewhere. But didn't see it coming. Fair play to him.
I think it was kind of weird as well. Like it can't continue. He's not gonna be as effective as he's been for the whole season. But like he isn't objectively terrible. Like he's going to be in most teams.
He's played Test match cricket for India multiple times.
And
not been terrible.
It's that was kind of bizarre. But like he's in there now and he's doing a great job. So basically we're still kind of thinking that Lucknow are being propped up by Nicholas Pooran and
a bit of Markram. Let's be fair to Markram. Markram's not having an awful season.
Yeah, and I think again, like maybe our judgment of Maiden Markram's been clouded by the last couple of years at Sunrisers, where he was going nowhere and he was captain, and it was all a bit weird. But actually, especially in the SA20, he's been, and for South Africa generally, he's good. Like he's a decent player. Like obviously, we shouldn't be writing off Aiden Markram as bad at cricket because obviously that's crazy talk.
Should we be writing off Rishabh Pant as bad at cricket though? I think this is definitely still on flop watch. 100%. He's king of the flops so far. I would say 21 off 18. It's the best he's played this year, but that's not saying a lot, is it, Ross?
No, and it's quite disappointing. We kind of thought. I mean, how much money did Lucknow pay for Rishabh Pant? So what is it? The most expensive player? Very, very disappointing at this point in time. maybe as the pitches have a little bit more wear and tear, he will come into his own because he's kind of got a bit of a badge as a shit heap specialist. But if he can't bat well on decent grounds, I'm not too sure his form will get much better towards the end of the season. So it's a worrying sign, I think. But
it's a shame as well because like the main concern for Rishabh Pant was whether he'd be any good last year when he was just making his return, and he was really good. I was like, great, yeah, he's as good as he's ever been, and taking a step or two backwards. I hope he finds his mojo again.
I don't. I chose him as flop of the season.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, yeah.
I hope he's
Even more reason for me to hope he finds his mojo again. I need you guys to pick up as few points as possible in that particular competition.
Yeah, right. There's 3 games coming up before our next show. Lucknow Super Giants v Chennai Super Kings. Max, is this the game where Chennai turn it round?
Yeah, absolutely. Chennai got this in the bag. They can't possibly continue to be as bad as they are. They've been awful, haven't they? They've been so bad. CSK. Surely at this point they have to realise that they need to pick either Sam Curran or Jamie Overton. Just do something, right? Like, because what they're doing at the moment doesn't make any sense. And I think the pitches at Lucknow have been a bit better than they have been in recent years, but I still don't think they're like super batting friendly. So the weapons that Chennai have had with the ball should help them there. So I'll be optimistic for my boys in yellow and say that they'll take it.
This is one of the games where I genuinely couldn't care less about watching it. Like neither of those teams screams to me that I'm going to spend my Monday evening watching that game of cricket. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Lucknow aren't bad to watch. Like I know historically they've been the worst team, but they're this year they're worth tuning in for.
You got to tune in for Digvesh.
Digvesh with the ball, Lord Thakur with the ball, and then Nicholas Puran. I understand switching off once Puran's out, but
or for the entire for most of CSK's involvement.
Yeah.
They've got to do something pretty drastic, right? CSK, but can they? Right, and they have to change things up. But yeah, the 5 games in a row that they've lost, 2 points. Like, where's the magic coming from?
I know they've got a guy in there who makes things happen somewhere. Maybe that's the secret.
We think Lucknow are going to win.
I'm going to say Lucknow are going to win that game.
Big
and that would be the first time in IPL history that CSK have lost 6 games in a row.
You can say that with confidence, ultimate confidence.
Yeah. Tuesday, Punjab Kings v Kolkata Knight Riders. This could be a ding dong.
This is what I want to tune in for. Absolutely, this is box office. So I'm excited. They're just two. They're two head case teams, aren't they? They've got some very, very interesting approaches to cricket. They've got Sunil Narine, who goes against all the laws of averages, Max, as we've discovered. He just keeps on churning out runs at the top of the order. I have no idea how good Punjab Kings are going to be against Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine, kind of the spin combo. But I'm here for it. Shreyas Iyer is in a rich vein of form. The revenge arc narrative from the last podcast, Max, is going to burn brightly with Shreyas Iyer returning to KKR. Playing against KKR.
Huge.
This is going to be a very, very good game.
Max, who's going to win?
Yeah, I'm gonna now. Ross has mentioned the revenge arc point, which didn't go so well this weekend. As we said, Marco Janssen not so good, Tristan Stubbs not so good. So that means we're in for some revenge. We had failed revenge at the weekend, which means good revenge on Tuesday, and Shreyas Iyer captaining to victory.
Even more revenge than normal. Okay, fair enough. And then the last game we'll talk about is I have lost the fixture list. Delhi Capitals v Rajasthan Royals. Ross, Rajasthan, they're drinking in Last Chance Saloon here, aren't they? Delhi, 4 wins, 1 loss. How badly are Rajasthan going to be beaten?
I really, really have. I don't want to give up hope on the Pink Boys. That's what I don't want to do. We are not. Well, we're not halfway through just yet, are we?
Not quite.
No, not quite. So we can't give. I can't just write off Rajasthan right now. I think there needs to be a bit of a chat in what are they going to be doing. But I'm going to back the Pink Boys. I think the Pink Boys will bounce back from their shitness, and Delhi will. They shouldn't do this because they should really be the grown-ups in the room. But they might question themselves, and there might be a little bit of feeling sorry for themselves after today's loss. So let's hope there's a bit of a hangover for them.
It's the first real test of mentor Kevin Peterson in my eyes. Can he psychologically keep Delhi on track after their defeat today? And I think it's quite an important one for them to show that it was just a blip in that Mumbai game, and that because I think on paper they're a better side than Rajasthan, and if they go out and put today's events to one side and play properly, they should come out on top. So I'm gonna back Delhi, but it does, like Ross says, have a little feeling about. You can kind of see wheels possibly loosening, and a defeat against Rajasthan in the place that they are at the moment would definitely loosen those wheels somewhat.
For the tournament, we want it to be a Rajasthan win, right? We want as many teams on the same amount of points as possible at the halfway.
I think so, yeah, to retain our interest all the way to the middle of May.
Cool. Last thing to wrap up then, Sudeep asks, what are our genuine odds for making the playoffs? So who are the 4 teams going to be, do you think, at this stage, Max?
Good question. I still back Gujarat. I think they look good. RCB also looking good. Delhi up there on 8 points with a 1 game played fewer as well, so they're arguably in the best position. But I do feel like there's a couple of sides in that that middle section at the moment who are going to come into it. I think I still quite fancy Mumbai to make a play at it. Sunrisers, cool. I think Sunrisers are a little bit too variant to but I guess that means they could put together a hell of a run. I don't know. I'll go Gujarat, RCB, Delhi, and I said Mumbai. Let's go with the random Mumbai. I mean those odds aren't high, but like
yeah, I think Gujarat and RCB are looking pretty good. Delhi is hard to ignore because even though I'm not entirely convinced by them, they have won 4 matches and they have a game in hand. So they could be 5-1. They've probably got a 50% chance of being 5-1, which is like it would be really bad to blow it from there. Yeah. So probably those 3 are leading the race. I can't see Lucknow holding on to 4th.
No,
still can't. They still sort of refuse to believe the results that have happened. And like if you look at their net run rate, it's not amazing. I think that tells you that they've probably been a little bit lucky.
Yeah,
I think KKR are the team that will come through from the.
I think that's
the
a fair show.
I think Punjab are too bizarre. Basically, I don't think their bowling is good enough. Mumbai and Sunrisers, I think, are just too far away to realistically think they'll make the play, or to be confident enough to say that they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they could, but like I think it's unlikely. Ross, how about you?
I'm going to throw the dice on this one. I think Mumbai and Sunrisers will make it. I think RCB will blow their load and they'll falter.
You're going to do the exact opposite of what they did last year.
Yeah,
and lose like 7 in a row at the end.
Yeah, I think there's a big implosion of the cards because we have to remember is the more RCB fans get excited about something, the less it's likely to happen. It's kind of my experience of the IPL. So there's every single signal suggests that RCB are going to have a good season. Something's going to go wrong. It's just the way in which the franchise exists.
There we go. That's cricket. That's the Cricket Podcast. We are out. See you later in the week. Have fun watching cricket. Bye.